Kane Vision welcomes in John Barfeld, the head softball coach at the University of Tulsa. Big weekend coming up, and the first thing we're going to say is the weather the way it is, keep an eye on the website because there will be maybe some announcements on changing of time and that sort of thing. It's something you have to deal with at this time of year, isn't it, Coach?
Right, especially the home team, you're trying to get, everybody that's involved in putting on a game, which is a lot of people, having to reschedule different things. And so just trying to make sure that we use the best weather in the 3-game series. And that's the reason why we went to the 3-game series, on single game each day, is so that if problems do exist, then you've got ample opportunities to maybe get a doubleheader in if you need to or whatever.
And the issue certainly is when Memphis comes in for a 3-game series, if that gets wiped out because of weather or 2 or the 3 games, whatever, any number of games to get wiped out, you just lose those games. You don't get to play them or make them up, right?
Yeah, there's no makeup games. And so, there's been times here at Tulsa where we've lost an entire series.
Right. Right. And so keep an eye on the website on the game times. 1 o'clock right now on a Friday is our currently scheduled time for the first game against Memphis on Friday. So, and there's a possibility that maybe 2 games could be played on Friday. But anyway, keep an eye on the website on that for the latest. Now, last weekend.
1 o'clock is already a change.
Right.
It was scheduled for later.
So 1 o'clock on Friday is for sure the first game of Memphis. And thing you didn't have to worry about, I don't think, in Tampa was the weather. You played USF last weekend. Mm-hmm. How did your team do as far as recovering from, kind of a walk-off type home run in the first game? You did a nice job of battling back.
Oh, we did. We challenged the team about, that this is a business trip and that they need to be really focused. And I thought we were focused defensively, and we did a great job pitching. We shut them out for 7 innings, and played really good defense during that time. But that 8th inning got us. But really proud of the team, the way they responded. That's a team that's picked to win the conference, and so they're obviously very formidable. And the pitcher struck out 16 of us in that first game. We faced her again on Sunday, and she struck out 4. So you can tell that our discipline on what to swing at, got a lot better.
And in the middle game, you scored 10 runs, right? I mean, it dominated that game and evened the series up, which is the important, thing to do, especially when you drop the first game.
Right, and scored 5 runs in the first inning. So really coming out and getting after it in that first inning showed a lot of heart by our team, especially as you said. Anytime you get beaten a walk-off, that's a pretty emotional, loss that you take. And
you have now 2 straight weeks. Morgan Neal is your hitter or player of the week in the American Athletic Conference. What's she doing so well?
Just been really consistent in with her at-bats and swinging at, pitches both in and out that she can handle. And then coming up with clutch hits. She's the one that's been coming up a lot of the times, with that run. That first run or that go-ahead run, that's really been big for us. And
you've had clutch hits out of Tori Stafford. That's been her history. She had the big 3-run homer for you against Oklahoma State. But what about other young, especially younger players that are really starting to come on for you?
Yeah, Josie Muffley's been doing a really good job. She had a great series at USF in terms of getting on base with hits and got hit, I think, 3 times. And so just any time that you're keeping the lineup moving, that's huge. Shanice Dels has come in, and we kind of used her sparingly, but every time we put her in, she got hits, and so or walks, and so she's been doing a nice job as far as the younger players go. Also, Sarah Bryers and Michaela Witten, they went 3 for 4 in that second game. That really helped keep the offense going and putting runs on the board, and that was important.
And you mentioned Shanice Dels. Of course, she's one of your top-line pitchers, if you will. You're relying on 3 right now, which is nice, and you got 2 others that have pitched for you as well in Higley and Minnan. So your depth in the pitching staff is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, we're pretty much going with 3 starters for the most part. That may change as we go through the conference, but it's nice to be able to see them go out, and each pitcher had really good outings, this past weekend. And so it's good to be able to see maybe who does the best against a particular team, because when it comes tournament time, you've got some choices in that regard.
Yeah, and talking about Cassidy Scott, who is one of the newcomers for you, and we mentioned, of course, Dels as well. So, I mean, you've got, and Samantha Pokop, obviously, is one of your top-line pitchers as well. And so you've got that depth, and now it's it's up to the old coach to figure out who's gonna pitch well on a certain day, right?
Well, and I don't know that I can do that, and so you just kind of, at this point, you kind of give them their chances, and then, you also can use those pitchers in relief, and so that's where the depth can really come in, because maybe somebody is not on that particular day, and so now you can make a quick change and not have the drop-off that we've had in the last couple of years, with Emily being such a standout. There was quite a big of a drop-off. It's hard to take her out,
right?
With her stuff. But these pitchers are all pretty close, and so, in fact, that last game, even though Shanice did the bulk of the pitching, we still used Cassidy and Sam in relief, and Sam got the save in that game after getting the win in the second game, in the third game of the series with USF.
And so, as we get ready for the Memphis weekend series in the American Athletic Conference, want to backtrack just a little bit. You had a little midweek yardstick, didn't you? You took on number 2 OU, and they're obviously really, really good. They're on a big winning streak right now, and they beat you fairly soundly. But does this give you a little yardstick? You go back down there where you've played so many NCAA games?
Well, I think it's a wake-up call, because we have been playing really well. We've beaten a couple of ranked opponents, and it kind of just reminds you that if you don't show up and to play that great game against a great team, then things can get out of whack really quick. And we didn't play well defensively. We made some pitches that went for home runs. The wind was blowing out, so it was, balls got up in the air, they were going to go. And then we just did we kind of did the same thing against OU's pitcher that we did the first time against USF. Just we're swinging out of the zone, just not very focused and determined. That did get better as the game went on. But when you dig yourself a hole against a team like that, I mean, it's kind of tough.
Yeah, and pitching staff obviously was doing their best, but there were some unearned runs in there that the 10-1 score would indicate your pitching was a little better than that.
Well, but the home runs, there's one home run where she just had you have to give her credit, but the other 3 home runs, I think you could probably say that we could have probably put our pitches in a little bit better locations.
Yeah, and so the Hurricane battling OU in the midweek, but now battling the weather and Memphis this weekend. Good luck, Coach, and again, dance between the raindrops and get them all in, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Bruce.
The head coach of the Golden Hurricane, John Barfeld, and again, a reminder that there's already been a change in the schedule. It is Memphis at 1 o'clock for sure on Friday, and then just kind of keep track of things on the website as to what goes on from there for this weekend series. And that's it. Thanks to Coach Barfeld for now. I'm Bruce Howard. So long.